guys, it's Mrs. Johnson teaching you guys about shadows, okay? So our learn target for today is that you will learn the path of the sun across the sky and how that affects the size and position of your shadows. Before we get into the lesson, we're going to just quickly review the last concept that we went over, which was seasons. So as the Earth orbits the sun, it does have two different motions, okay? So one is the spinning motion around the Earth's own axis. So just imagine this is the Earth. It rotates, turns, spins, whatever you want to say, on its axis, which takes 1 day or 24 hours, okay? And then while it's rotating on its axis, it's also revolving around the sun. I know the sun looks really small there, but the Earth is also revolving around the sun, which takes 1 year or 365 days. Okay, so there's those two movements. Rotation, so the Earth is rotating, spinning on its axis, and it's also at the same time revolving around the sun, orbiting the sun, and that takes 1 year. Okay, I'm just going to come back to this. So the other motion along the elliptical orbit takes a year to complete one full revolution around the sun. Elliptical just means kind of elongated, more like oval. So seasons are caused by the Earth's axis being inclined at about 23.5 degrees, okay, with the orbital plane. So the Earth is tilted to 23.5 degrees. And as the Earth orbits the sun, its axis always points to the same direction. So in December, the North Pole, which is up here, I'm just going to label it NP, North Pole, is leaning away from the sun. So that's in winter. So right now, this is not drawn correctly. I guess I will. If it were this way, the North Pole is kind of facing away from the sun. Okay, so it's receiving less sunlight. The days are shorter and the sun is low in the sky, so the sunlight is spread thinly over the Earth's surface. The sun is lowest in the sky on December 22nd, which is the winter solstice, and that's usually that is the shortest day of the year, the least daylight hours in the whole year. Okay, so this is a sundial. You've probably seen something very similar looking to this. It's the earliest type of timekeeping device, which indicates the time of day by the position of the shadow of some object exposed to the sun's rays. As the day progresses, the sun moves across the sky, causing the shadow of the object to move and indicating the passage of time. Okay, so we are going to be asking you to do a little activity where you do go outside and you trace your own shadow. You're going to need to have someone to help you do that, whether it's your sibling or a parent, because the whole point is for you to see that your shadow does move throughout the day. Okay, in the morning your shadow's a lot longer because the sun is very low in the sky. Okay, so here's our sun. It's lower in the sky. Here's our horizon. Okay, so it's really spread out and our shadow will be very, very long. Okay, and then when the sun gets higher in the sky towards noon, okay, then your shadow, like let's just say up here, your shadow is going to be a lot shorter. Okay, so a little person. Okay, and the shadow would be a lot shorter because the sun is higher in the sky. Okay, it also moves as well around in a 360 degree turn. So it'll start off in one area at the beginning of the day, and then it'll just slowly move around as the sun moves across the sky. So, quick question. What month would be the best or the easiest to play shadow tag? So we're looking for obviously longer shadows because then you can catch them easier. So it would be easier for the taker if the shadows are longer, which would be more in wintertime when the sun's kind of lower in the sky. But for the rest of the players, obviously they want their shadows as short as possible, so they would prefer to have short shadows, which would be more like the summertime. Okay, so here's a quick little diagram demonstrating that point. So in the winter, the sun is quite a bit lower in the sky, so the rays of the sun spread out over kind of a smaller distance, which makes the shadows a lot longer. Okay, and then in the summertime, the sun's a lot higher in the sky, so the rays of the sun are kind of in more of a smaller area, which makes the shadow a lot shorter. So this is December 21st or 22nd, it always kind of changes, which is the winter solstice, which is usually the shortest day of the year. That's when the sun is the lowest in the sky. Okay, so shadows are going to be really long there. March 21st and September 23rd, which is the vernal and autumnal equinoxes, so those are the spring and fall. They are about kind of midway through the sky, so the sun's kind of halfway between how low it is in December and how high it is in June. Okay, so it's kind of in the mid-range. Shadows are a little bit shorter, but not as short as it would be in the summer. And then up here is where our sun is the highest it will be in the sky, and that is in midsummer, which is the summer solstice, June 21st. Around that date is when the sun's going to be highest in the sky, and it's going to create the shortest shadows, okay, because it's really high up there. The rays are going to be focused on one area, making the shadows a lot shorter. So here's a quick little diagram. So we're talking about the vocabulary word called solar noon. So here's our person, here's noon, sunrise, and sunsets. Remember, the sun always rises in the east and it sets in the west. So it's going to move across the sky, and it's going to start off really low where our shadows are really long, and our shadows will be on this side of us because the sun's over here, beating down on us here. And then it's going to kind of move as the sun moves through the sky. Our shadow is going to get shorter and shorter, and it's going to move. And then it's going to move past noon. And as the sun sets, our shadow is going to be kind of going to this side of us because the sun's over here, beating down on our bodies. Shadow's behind us, and our shadow gets longer again. Okay? So what is solar noon? So you guys know that noon is 12 o'clock, middle of the day. Okay, solar noon is a bit different. So solar noon is when the sun crosses the meridian, okay, which is meridian just means middle, at its highest elevation in the sky. It's at 12 o'clock apparent solar time. It's not always 12 o'clock though. It definitely depends on what time of year it is. So local or clock time of solar noon depends on the longitude and the date. So we are quite far north here. So in the summer, our solar noon can be like at 1:30 p.m. Like it can be in the kind of a lot later in the afternoon. Just depends on where we are. Okay, so here's some practice questions I'm going to show you. So here's a shadows cast by a stick in summer in Alberta. Okay, so we're trying to figure out when solar noon is. And solar noon, remember, is when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. So here's our horizon. The sun's at the highest point in the sky, and it's in the middle, the meridian. Meridian means like it's in the middle of its path across the sky. So that means our shadow is going to be very, very short. Okay, so we are looking for when our shadow gets the shortest. That is when solar noon is occurring. Okay, so in our left-hand column we have the time of day in by the hour. It's 10:30, 11:30, and so on. And then on our right column we have the length of shadow in centimeters. So if we look at our lengths, 148, 140, 129, 116, 127, 134. Where is the shadow the shortest? When is it the shortest length? It's right here. 116 is the smallest it gets, which means in this case our shadow, our solar noon is at 13:30, which is 1:30 p.m. Okay, so this is when it's the shortest. So solar noon occurred at approximately C, 1:30, because that is when the shadow was the shortest. And solar noon is when the shadow is the shortest because the sun is midway through its path. It's at its highest point in the sky. Okay, as part of his project, Mark notes that the length of the shadow left by a sundial changes throughout the day. The reason for the change in the length of shadow cast by the sundial is that, so is it because A, Earth is rotating? Is it because B, the sun is rotating, C, Earth is revolving around the sun, or D, the sun is revolving around Earth? So there's two answers that are actually impossible, okay, because they're not true. So I want you to take a second, see if you can figure out what those two are, the ones we would eliminate right away. So we would eliminate B because the sun is not rotating, and then D, the sun isn't revolving around the Earth is revolving around the sun. But which of those two, Earth is rotating or Earth is revolving around the sun, is the reason for the change in the length of shadow cast by the sundial? Okay, so that is because Earth is rotating. Okay, we're rotating, which means the sun is moving across the sky and the shadow is changing its length. Okay, as the sun is about to set on this warm July evening, you and Jason notice that your shadows fall directly behind you. I'll draw a little picture to show that. The shadows directly behind you. So Jason infers that you are walking west, east, north, or south. So there's a few things you need to think about here. So shadows directly behind this person, that means the sun has to be here because the sun's shining, the body's blocking it, creating a shadow. Okay? If they're walking facing the sun, which direction is the sun? So the sun sets in what direction? The sun sets in the west. So they are walking west. Okay? Because they're walking this way, our shadow's right behind them. They are walking west into the sun. Okay, we're going to do one last question, and then I am going to let you go and do some kind of more fun drawings of your shadows outside using chalk if you have any. So this is our last one, and then I'm going to let you guys get on with the activity. So Suzanne is preparing the following graph about the average amount of daylight in Alberta. So here's our x-axis right here. This is the, average amount of daylight by the hour. Okay, and then here are our months on our y-axis. So an observation that can be made based on the data in Suzanne's graph is that A, shadows are longer in the winter than in the summer. B, shadows are shorter in the winter than in the summer. C, there are more hours of daylight in the fall and winter than in the spring and summer. Or D, there are more hours of daylight in the spring and summer than in the fall and winter. So I want you to really think about this, because think about what the graph's showing us. It's showing the average amount of daylight per hour and then the months. There are two that it's not even talking about that information. So I want you to quickly read through them again. Which ones can we eliminate right away? A and B. Because it's not actually talking about shadows whatsoever. It's talking about the average amount of daylight by the hour. Okay, so it's not talking about shadows. So which of these is correct? C, there are more hours of daylight in the fall and winter than in the spring and summer. So take a look. Fall and winter. Fall and winter is like September, October, November, December, January, February. Okay. So are the hours of daylight are there more hours of daylight there than in here? Or D, there are more hours of daylight in the spring and summer than in the fall and winter. And spring and summer is like March to August. So the answer is D, because if you look at all of these months, April, May, June, July, August, way longer hours of daylight in the spring and summer than in fall and winter. So the conclusion for today. So as light emitting from a source gets hit by an opaque object, a shadow is created. So here's our person. We are opaque. That means light cannot travel through us. So here's the sun. Obviously it's not right next to us, but when it shines on us, it hits our bodies and it creates a shadow behind us. Okay? Shadows under the sun are created when the sun's rays get hit by any opaque object, living or not, and as the sun moves on from east to west, the shadows are created. So that means shadows are longest when the sun is in the east or west horizon. So that's like when they first rise and when the sun first is setting. And around noon, when the sun is perched just overhead, the shadows are the shortest. The movement of shadows in sync with the sun could be applied in making a sundial. Okay, so you guys could make your own sundials if you wanted. You just need to have something that is blocking the sun. This shadow movement also changes with the change of season. In winter, as the North Pole leans away from the sun, light falls a bit more slantingly, so like kind of this, on the objects in the north. Thus, shadows are always a little bit longer throughout the winter days as against those during the summer. The variation in this shadow movement also helps us to predict the shifting of the seasons. Okay, so my lesson is done, but I'd like you to go, there's another video on the Power Learning page, and then also the activities posted there for you to do. It should be pretty fun, and if you have any sidewalk chalk, it'll be awesome to get outside and to track your shadows movement throughout the day. Thanks, guys!